Hey there, you ever heard of Mark Bell? You probably have. If you're into powerlifting of any kind for the last 5-10 years, you definitely know who Mark Bell is. Mark Bell's interesting character, very fun to listen to, obviously very knowledgeable, lots of experience under a lot of heavy weight. Why am I making a video about Mark Bell? Well, just because he's a video on YouTube right now. It's getting up close to about 1 million views. And it's he actually says a lot of really interesting things in there. A couple of things that I want to touch on actually, because he went from being a very well-known, very large, 300+ pound powerlifter to a much leaner, much slimmer, how he refers to himself as a tanned metrosexual, right? So it's kind of like in life you have to decide what direction you want to move in, right? And for the longest time, all he wanted to do was move heavy weight, as much weight as he possibly could. And no weight was ever enough. Human beings are kind of like that sometimes. When we have a goal that we actually get to, then we set a new goal. And let's say we get to that goal, and then we set a new goal, and that's healthy, that's good. But when is enough enough? When your squat is 800, and then you want to get to a 900-pound squat, and you get there, and then you want to get to a 1,000-pound squat. It's like, at some point, am I sacrificing too much? And Mark was under a great deal of weight when his legs caved on him, and it could have been catastrophic. Luckily, he walked away from it, but it was an aha moment for sure for him, and it just made me think of a few things about, in life, sometimes you need to be able to find new goals once you've attained certain goals, and how healthy are your goals, right? But beyond that, there's another really interesting thing. He talks a lot about carbs. And if you know anything about Mark, you know that he does everything he possibly can to avoid carbs. But it's funny because he'll say, those little bastards find their way into everything, and he's right. Carbs are just about everywhere. Even when you're trying to eat a carb-free diet, you're still going to consume 20, 30, 40, 50 grams of carbs a day. It's being as clean as you possibly can. And for him, he said another very interesting thing in the video that you obviously have seen some clips of, that he thinks that people can function very well eating carbs, and he thinks people can function very well without eating carbs. And it's a very interesting statement to make, but I've been mostly a carb eater for my whole life, yet just recently I've just decided that, I just need to be leaner. I want to be leaner. I like being like 215, 220 pounds, but I feel better when I'm down closer to 200. And in order to do that for me, the weight comes fast for me. So I really got to cut out all those extra calories, and really what it comes down to, I got to cut out carbs. Because the proteins and the fats in my diet are good. I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about fat from eggs. I'm not worried about fat from, coconut oil or olive oil and stuff like that. I'm not worried about fat from fish. I'm not worried about fat from natural peanut butter. I'm not worried from nuts, almonds, and things like that. I'm not worried about, obviously, protein at all. I love protein, and I try to eat a wide variety of protein. It's the carbs that we get from our breads. It's the carbs that we get from liquid drinks, right? Things like, sodas and juices and stuff like that. You just go to club soda or seltzer, which is what I've done. I still get the carbonation what I found out is that I just desire the carbonation. I really could care less about the sweet, the flavor. I just want that carbonation. So I've made that switch, and it's cheaper, and it satisfies me. That's all it is just bubbly water. So my point with this is that I function very well on a very low carb, carb-restricted diet. I feel fine. I'm getting the calories from my proteins and my fats. I'm staying hydrated, and mostly the carbs that I'm eating are from salads, from vegetables, and from some fruit. I'll have some berries in the morning, or maybe a banana, And then certainly like post-workout, I like to, get a banana in or an apple, or again, more berries, strawberries, blueberries, whatever, stuff like that. You can't knock some amount of fruit just because there's so much nutritional value there, a lot of vitamins and minerals that you'd be lacking in. So just wanted to touch on that because it's such an interesting, and it's a long video. I think it's almost like a half an hour long, 25 minutes to half an hour. But I'll drop that link in for that video if you haven't seen it. It's really, really good. Lots of great insight from a guy who's kind of been through it all in a lot of ways. He's a bit vulgar, but it works for him. It's funny. He has a way about him. So check those links below. We have a lot of our links in there. Thanks so much for watching, and leave some comments interested in what you have to say. We'll see you again real soon. Thanks for watching.